This video isn't exactly about songwriting itself, but I do want to talk about some ways you can get a feel for writing lyrics. One is obviously to read lyrics by other bands or to look at poetry, but to really get your mind working in the right way and thinking about writing lyrics, one thing you can do is translate a song from another language. Now, I've seen a lot of translations where people just stick the lyrics into Google and then they fix up the grammar so that the story makes sense, but I don't really think that this is sufficient. For starters, the translation probably ignores the original vocal meter, and it's not something that can be performed along to the original track. There are also a lot of poetic devices and meanings that just get lost in translation, so you need to do a little bit more work than just that. When I go to translate a song, I try my best to keep as much of the original piece as I can. The most important thing, of course, is that the meaning of the song is preserved. After that, I also want to match the meter exactly to the original so that the translation can actually be performed to the song. To do this, you sometimes have to take some liberties, stretch out a word or maybe add more words than in the original piece. But combined, these two things are criteria that I set for a successful translation. Finally, I tried my best to preserve original sounds from the song if that's possible. This is a lot more difficult, but usually I'll just use the same root word if it's between something like English and a Romance language or a Germanic language because of the common words that are shared between the two. But if it's not there, again, I'll just take some liberties while still trying to stay true. It's not going to end up as a word-for-word translation because things just have to get shuffled around in order to make sense grammatically between the different languages. But even when I'm matching sounds, it might not be with the word that I'm translating. But I do preserve the general meaning of the song, and I try my best to do that on a line-by-line basis. At worst, the verse is going to match to the original verse. I won't be rewriting the song from scratch for sure. Now this is only going to make sense with an example, and of course I have one prepared as always. I've translated Alcest's Nouvelles, which is the second song from the third album, Le Voyage. I don't actually speak French, but I am pretty good with accents, so I hope I got that right. I will attempt to perform a live cover of it, similar to my vocal cover of Emancipation by Naissent, where I pan the track to one side and my vocals to the other. Now in this case, it might sound a bit messy because of the translation, but you'll be able to hear what I mean by matching the meters as well as phonetic sounds. Of course, I'm going to go over the translation in detail afterwards in a separate video. For now, let's jump over to the recording studio, by which I mean the backseat of my car. So here we are in the most ghetto recording studio in the world. You can see the lighting is shit, and you can probably hear a slight buzzing sound. It's kind of muffled by my car, but actually let me open the door and Now, unlike my videos where you can hear background noise get picked up by my camera, which is my phone, that's not going to interfere with a recorded track. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my legitimate setup that I use to record my music, and if this buzzing was a problem, it would have been a problem on Insomnia, because this is a condition, the exact condition where I recorded the album. As you can see right now, I'm in Reaper, which is the DAW that I use, and actually what you're looking at is the tracks for the upcoming album Rebirth, but we're not going to focus on that. Instead, we're focusing on this right here, the translated version of Nouvelles. Don't worry about looking at the lyrics, I'll post them when I'm done, but what you're going to see next is, hopefully, me performing the song.